In the heart of an ancient land in Africa, there was a village that vanished. Not slowly, not over years, but in a single night. No bodies, no traces, no blood, just gone. The only clue was the forest beside it, a forest that locals swore moved at night. And according to the only surviving witness, the forest didn't just move. It swallowed the village. But before we start, if you're new here, welcome to African Folktale Hub, where we tell strange, mysterious, and mind-bending stories from across Africa. Tap subscribe button to join our tribe of mystery lovers. Hit the like button to help this story echo across the world. Share this video with someone who loves deep African storytelling. Today's story is one of the oldest. A tale of vengeance, betrayal, and a forest older than time itself. This is the forest that swallowed a village. Long before modern borders existed, nestled between rolling hills and a river that glowed silver beneath the moonlight, lay Amawo, a peaceful farming village known for its yam festivals, moon dances, and the finest wooden masks in the region. Amawo was small, humble, and dangerously close to a place no one dared to enter. The Ajuodi Forest. The forest of the last eye. This was not a normal forest. Birds never perched in it. Wind never rustled its leaves. And the deeper you looked into its trees, the more you felt something looking back. Every child in Amawo grew up with the same rule. Never step past the first 3 trees of Ajuodi. But rules only exist because someone broke them once. And in Amawo, that someone was a young hunter named Kayo. Brave, stubborn, and beloved by nearly everyone. Kayo believed the forest myths were exaggerated. He believed fear kept the village small. He believed he could tame the forest the same way he tamed wild dogs. So one evening, ignoring every warning, he stepped deeper than anyone in 3 generations. By sunrise, they found him crawling back toward the village. Clothes torn, skin pale, trembling violently, and whispering the same thing over and over. She saw me. When the elders demanded to know who she was, Kayo's mouth locked up as if sealed by an invisible hand. He never spoke again. And that was the moment Amawo learned. The forest is alive, and it never forgives trespassers. Years passed. Kayo became a cautionary tale, but Amawo grew and prospered nonetheless. More farms, more families, more children. Then came the drought. Rivers thinned to trickles. Crops failed. Cattle died. And the elders began whispering that the village's suffering was spiritual punishment. A diviner, Madame Ori, revealed a terrifying truth. Something in the forest is awake again. It waits. And it watches Amawo every night. No one believed her. Until the disappearances began. A woman named Nari, known for her singing voice, walked out at dawn to fetch firewood along the forest edge. Her footprints reached the first tree, then vanished. No sign of struggle. No drag marks. Just empty sand. People whispered. The forest took her. But the elders insisted it was a leopard, or raiders, or even a spirit wind. Until the second disappearance. Then the third. Then the 5th. Always the same pattern. Footprints leading toward the forest. None coming back. Fear began to wrap itself around Amawo like vines. One night, the entire village woke to an impossible sound. The forest was breathing. A slow, deep inhale. A long, trembling exhale. As if the trees were alive and hungry. People locked their doors. Children hid under mats. No one dared look outside. Except one person. A young girl named Iardi, curious and fearless. She peeked through her window and saw the trees shifting, almost gliding closer to the village. When she screamed, the trees froze. The village elders gathered that night and said 6 words no one wanted to hear. The forest wants something returned. But what? Or who? They didn't know. Not yet. Madame Ori, the diviner, called for a secret meeting. She told the truth the elders hid for years. Amawo is built on stolen land. Generations ago, before the current villagers arrived. The land belonged to a mysterious clan called the Moku, keepers of an ancient spirit known as Ayanaju, the last eye. The Moku worshipped a goddess who lived within the forest, a being who granted protection but demanded strict obedience. When outsiders fought the Moku, they wiped them out and built Amawo on their graves. But the goddess, she never left, and she never forgot. According to legend, the goddess sees through every tree. She hears every whisper. She remembers every sin committed on her land. The day Kaio trespassed, he awakened the spirit's memory of the massacre. The disappearances, not random. She was reclaiming her land. One villager at a time. 3 nights after the truth came out, Amawo heard the breathing again. But this time, the ground began to shake. The trees weren't just shifting. They were walking. Roots stretching like legs. Branches curling like fingers. At dawn, they discovered something horrifying. The forest had moved 5 meters closer. If it reached the village, it would swallow Amawo whole. The elders panicked. Children cried. The air stank of death. And Madame Ori told them, to survive, you must face the goddess. Someone must enter the forest, willingly. But who? More people vanished in broad daylight. A farmer planting yams. A young mother drawing water. A drummer practicing alone. Each disappearance left behind only one thing. A handprint made of black ash, pressed into the soil. Madame Ori recognized it. This is the mark of Ayanaju. She is hunting the descendants of those who destroyed her people. The villagers demanded. Then who is the next target? But before Madame Ori could answer, a scream split the air. It was Iardi, the curious girl who first saw the trees moving. Her mother ran out and saw Iardi being dragged toward the forest by something invisible. Not a creature. Not a shadow. The ground itself was pulling her. Everyone froze. Everyone except Madame Ori. She sprinted, staff in hand, slammed it into the earth and screamed a chant. The soil let Iardi go. But not before she disappeared waist-deep and resurfaced with her skin covered in black markings, symbols shifting like living ink. She fainted, and Madame Ori whispered, "It's too late. The forest has chosen her." The forest moved another 5 meters closer by nightfall. Iardi woke at midnight. The markings on her arms glowed green. And she whispered, "She wants to speak to me." The elders argued. Some said sacrifice her. Some said send her into the forest. Others said run. But Iardi herself stood up and said, "If the forest wants me, I will go." Madame Ori agreed to escort her. As they entered Ajuodi, the trees parted, forming a path. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. Chants echoed from nowhere. Faces appeared in the bark, and shadows slithered like snakes. In the heart of the forest lay a massive tree. Twisted, ancient, pulsing like a heart. From its trunk stepped a figure. Not a monster. Not a demon. But a woman draped in leaves, skin like dark polished wood, eyes glowing green. The goddess Ayanaju. She said, "Child of Amawo, you carry the blood of the liars." Iardi knelt. Madame Ori demanded to know what the forest wanted. The goddess revealed the truth. The forest never wanted revenge. It wanted justice. And a guardian. The Moku had once protected the forest. Their extinction left the goddess alone. She wanted one thing. A successor. And she chose Iardi. The disappearances were not killings, but transformations. Those taken had become the trees of the moving forest. Her ancestors were all around her. If Irdi accepted, she would save the village. But she would never return. If she refused, the forest would consume Amawo before sunrise. Without hesitation, Irdi chose to stay. She stepped into the goddess's tree. Her body dissolved into green light. The forest shook. The trees groaned. Then, slowly, they stepped back, retreating to their original borders. Amawa was saved, but at a cost. By sunrise, the village gathered at the forest edge. A new tree stood where Irdi entered. Small, young, glowing faintly. Madame Ori bowed. She is now the guardian. She watches. She protects. Over the years, no one ever entered Aju Odi again. But at night, some villagers swore they heard a girl's voice whispering through the leaves. I am here. And Amawo learned the truth. You cannot steal land without it remembering. You cannot shed blood without it echoing. But sometimes, redemption comes from the smallest heart. And that is the story of the village that nearly vanished, the forest that breathed, and the girl who became a legend. Thank you for listening to African Folktale Hub, where ancient stories breathe again. And in the comment, tell us what you like about this story. If this tale touched you, remember, wisdom lives in every story, and every story lives in you. See you in the next tale.